Let me take you back. I'm a 46-year-old mother of two amazing daughters, 17 and 15. Smart, brave, and heartbreakingly wise beyond their years, because they had to be my ex-husband? A man who betrayed not just me, but our entire family. He died last year in a tragic accident. And while I never wish death on anyone, I'd be lying if I said it ended our problems, because he left behind more than a trail of lies. He left behind 2 sons from an affair. And a family war that would push my daughters to their emotional limits. You see, my girls were the ones who discovered the cheating. Imagine that. 2 teens stumbling across messages, photos, and clues their father was living a double life. I was blindsided. They were shattered. We were mid-divorce when he died. And the worst part? His mistress, the boy's mother, also passed away in the same accident. Suddenly, those 2 affair babies were orphans, and my ex-in-laws? They thought it made perfect sense to dump the entire situation on us. They tried to move in with us. They tried to get custody of my daughters. And when I said no, they took it personally. Like biblical vengeance level personally, but it wasn't just court threats and legal pressure. They started targeting my girls. Especially my youngest. Now, we live in a small town. Every Saturday, there's this beautiful farmer's market. Fresh produce, eggs, handmade chocolates. The works. My youngest had a birthday coming up, so I gave her a little money and told her, go spoil yourself. An hour later, my phone rang. Her voice was shaking. Mom, some old ladies are yelling at me. I don't know what to do. My heart dropped. I grabbed my older daughter and ran. We found her surrounded by 6 older women, church women. You know the type. Long skirts, judgmental eyes, and an ego wrapped in a Bible verse. They were berating my daughter for being unchristian, accusing her of turning her back on her poor orphaned baby brothers, and shaming her for refusing to obey her grandparents. She was 15. They reduced my baby to tears. My mama bear instinct kicked in like wildfire. I stepped between them and my child, told my eldest to pay for her sister's stuff and head to the car, and then, I ripped them apart. I didn't yell, I commanded. My voice, low and sharp. My words, deliberate and scathing. I told them how dare they corner a child. How dare they use religion as a weapon. And how dare they act like they knew the full story. They tried to shout back, called me a bad wife, a failed mother, a sinner who refused to obey her elders. One even said I should be grateful for extra children. Eventually, the noise got so intense we were all asked to leave the market. They followed me to the car. Buzzards. That night, after my girls went to bed, I opened Facebook. That's when I saw the post. My ex-mother-in-law had gone nuclear. A long sob story in there. Church's Facebook group. She claimed I left them homeless, that my daughters were abusive, and that we abandoned their poor grandsons. She painted me as a jealous, bitter woman who couldn't handle motherhood. The worst part, she told everyone the affair. Children were actually surrogates. Yes. According to her, I couldn't have more children, so we used a surrogate. And I rejected the babies because they were boys. Disgusting, and it worked. People were flooding the comments with sympathy, offers to help, public prayers, condemning my daughters for being heartless. But here's the thing about that church, it has one big, sacred rule: cheating is a sin. No exceptions. Man or woman, and they didn't know the truth yet. You see, since my ex died mid-divorce, I still had everything. All the messages. All the photos. His confession to the cheating. Messages from his parents encouraging the affair. And even their bullying messages to my daughters after his death, including one where they blamed my girls for their father's death, saying if they'd never told me about the affair, I wouldn't have left him, and he'd still be alive. That message came 2 days after his funeral. That was the final straw. The next morning, I printed it all. I went to the local print shop and paid extra for glossy, high-quality paper. Every damning screenshot. Every blurry photo of my ex and his mistress in our home. Every sickening message from his parents. I wasn't just going to tell the truth, I was going to show it. When I got home, I made little binders, just like the church's hymn books. Identical size, matching covers. Open the binder. And boom, first image, my ex making out with his mistress in our living room. Caption, ex-husband's name plus affair partner, a true love story. Underneath? A collage of screenshots, texts, timelines. All organized, labeled, undeniable. That Sunday morning, I showed up early to service, and I left those binders at the back of the church. The gossip mill ignited like wildfire. People were furious. Shocked. Disgusted. One of the elders even used the word Jezebel to describe the mistress. The Facebook group exploded with outrage. Even the pastor had to intervene, and suddenly, the narrative flipped. Sure, some still blamed me for the divorce, but even those people admitted, it's understandable. Who could survive that level of betrayal? Apology letters came in for my daughters. Invitations to join church support groups. And the real kicker, my ex-in-laws were shamed right out of the church. They lost their social circle, their platform, their fake righteousness. Ex-mother-in-law posted on her own wall that week, begging for sympathy. "No one respects elders anymore," she wrote. "If my great son were still alive, he'd care for us. With what money? I was the one paying the bills while he played house with his mistress, and that money they said I stole? My ex's personal account and life insurance went directly to his parents. Not to me. Not to my girls. So no. I didn't ruin their lives. I just made sure everyone saw the truth, their reputation? Gone. Their lies? Exposed. Their twisted little fantasy? Shattered. And my daughters? They finally got the one thing they desperately needed, validation. Someone finally stood up, told the whole town the truth, and said, 'You did nothing wrong.' Sometimes, justice isn't found in courtrooms or karma. Sometimes, justice is DIY, and if you ever feel cornered, like you've lost control of the story, remember this: the truth is your greatest weapon, especially when printed in glossy, full color. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen someone take, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more stories of justice, karma, and sweet, sweet payback coming your way. Until next time, stay strong. And never let a bully write your story.